called, like Twitch Rewind or something. You could have previous streams play as if they're live, but they're recordings. That's just a Twitch feature. I don't know if they still do that. I think they do.
Maybe they don't. But I've seen it before, and I do think it'd be very funny.
That's Detective Bad. Who is he with?
I've never seen that officer before.
So, did he find it? No, not yet. I've looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. Continue the search.
Leave it to Ace Attorney games to just like or reuse the same 5 characters in 27 different scenarios.
I mean, because everything's connected. We already knew he was dealing with the smuggling case that this is all connected to.
I know, it's very funny because I
feel like
expect it.
I feel like that would. I feel like in real life that would be a thing though. Like they'd have the same people on cases that are related and long-term things like that. Like
yeah. Like it's like, oh, I'm part of this investigation and I have been for the last 20 years, right? Here, give me 1 second. I'll be back.
Oh. Okay. Well, Wally said he'll be right back, but I will give a reminder that Thursday we are going to be starting something new for Halloween. Okay. We're going to be doing a couple streams that's going to be access free too. Okay, you're back. So you're the one running the show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes. How dare you? Just who do you think you are? I guess I'll never know. I'll find out. I'll find out maybe in 7 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
What was all that all about? And who was the man just now?
Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life.
Does he even know that we're standing right here behind him? I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids?
It looks like you were paying attention after all.
Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head. You were looking at a mirror.
Yeah.
So the mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. Dark Data said, I have a mirror, you know, Edward. So tell me, Detective Bad, who is that rude man just now? The guy came here for a public Zheng Fa to study. He's Agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch. Visiting various police departments around the world is a lot of dedication. He's still just working calm. There's a sense of strong grudge from some sort from him. Disguise more useful than gumshoe, even if he is rude.
That he should have has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time.
I agree. However, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to. Also, she's short. Anyway, what was that agent looking for to take the bad?
Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well.
Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. this is the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding, what happened in this room, straight from him. I'm gonna go look at that stuff first. I wonder if the killer used these plastic bags in a flash of inspiration.
With that, detective, I somehow doubt he's that quick with it.
You're saying that this crime was thought out in advance.
With that, detective, I somehow doubt he's capable of making such a complex plan.
Cisco, when will you learn to take responsibility for your statements?
I was gonna say, did she say the exact same
No,
thing with only a
no,
slight
she
variant?
started the same thing.
Yeah, it threw me off. I was like, am I... It just threw me off.
This decorative plant's foliage is quite nice. It's actually soothing to be around. Perhaps I should purchase one for my room.
What?
Oh, careful.
I'm allergic to tables. Was this table here all along?
I suppose so.
Well, clearly, it's out of place. When you take the sofa into consideration, that table is much too tall.
The impression the two are not meant to be used as a South Francisco.
I knew that!
It seems she's lost her confidence in judgment and her eagerness to defeat me. So you say that about everything on the table. I thought that was something I could look at there.
That's its one tiny TV!
Detective Gumshoe is rather shocked at this and said it was huge compared to his own.
Ha! Anything you compare to something he owns will always seem grandiose.
Speaking of grandiose, I'd say that ego of yours could use a little deflating. Earlier you were in lobby number 2, and now you're here in lobby number 2. Maybe that again. Earlier you were in lobby... Earlier you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You're quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say. I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Boy? You'll see. I will draw an answer from you, one way or another.
It'd kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation.
Gave Faraday's notebook. The judge earlier. It's help enough, don't you think?
Ah!
Please, we're asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. I'd like to ask you once again what happened around here at the time of the crime. Refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about?
Things you don't know about, but aren't you supposed to know everything?
He should. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence. I should try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad. Get it? Key?
When you walk away. I just learned. We don't have to go into it. We don't have to get into it. But I did just learn about Riku anthem or whatever you call that when Riku gets possessed for the first time and goes into that weird like muscle suit of darkness in Hollow Bastion.
Yeah, I mean that's Riku, but
Yeah,
I don't think there's a special name for it.
Sure, but like the Keyblade he has is incomplete because it's missing Kyrie's heart, and like there's like it like there's like a thing where you know what it looks like. Like it's like they like you. It's easy for you to piece together the part that's missing of the blade part. It's like it's super cool. I just saw a video about it the other day. I don't know if you've seen it. I'll send it
Probably
to you.
not. I don't watch a lot of Kingdom Hearts lore videos.
Oh man, I love
I
it.
mostly just watch summaries of Kingdom Hearts by people who never played Kingdom Hearts. This time I wanna. I need to press back button. There we go. I think we need to show him the knife.
The Keith.
The Keith?
The Bandit Keith, America.
Ah yes, the America character from Yu-Gi-Oh! Detective Bad. Did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case. In that case, let me ask you something. You know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same? What? That's impossible.
It looks like he didn't know after all.
This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Rell is not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. Dark Data, you tried watching a few of the Kingdom Hearts lore videos when I was playing 2 and they were a ride. I mean, Kingdom Hearts lore is a ride. I'd say it makes more sense if you play them in order, but it really doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, it's like there's a certain level of neuroses that you have to achieve for the lore to make sense, and I've definitely achieved it. Like at this point, I am very knowledgeable on the intricacies of the Kingdom Hearts lore to a T.
I mean, I know the lore. I know the
any
lore.
question with 100%
But
certainty that I am correct.
I know the lore, but I wouldn't say that I understand the lore. I don't think it's consistent. Like, even the wiki still... I mean, okay, I'm not gonna give spoilers, but there's something that happens in the first game that wiki still just says somehow it happened, because there's not been any confirmation on how that worked. But...
Oh, are you talking about the scene? With the scene?
Probably.
Like, right after the scene that I was referring to?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, we still don't know how that happened.
But at least we had Kingdom Hearts 0.1, a fragmentary passage, Birth by Sleep, I said that in the wrong order, to exist solely to explain why Mickey was shirtless.
It really did.
It was...
It literally was.
It was the most important thing.
It's like, why was Mickey shirtless? You have to buy the remake of the second game.
No, that's the remake. It was 2.8. That was a remake of
Dream
Drop Distance.
Yeah, you gotta get the remake of the 3DS game.
That also comes with like a 1-hour video of stuff that happened
man.
a millennia before it all and is unrelated except for maybe the future arc. Sure, Dark Data said it happened because. I mean, it may as well. I don't know if they'll ever address it. Like, Kingdom Hearts 1, the thing about Kingdom Hearts 1 is a lot of the lore was pretty much written in a vacuum with no intention of it becoming a huge series. Which is why they call Sora's Keyblade the Keyblade and act like there's not 5 billion Keyblades. But there's a lot in 1 that just doesn't make sense much now because it wasn't written with the intention to have an entire franchise built around it. Also, Nomura doesn't do good at planning ahead. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was in fact a knife. Yeah, I'll have to admit neither one of us knew that fact.
I'm gonna miss this jam when we're done playing this game.
There's YouTube. You can just listen to it for hours.
You really think?
10-hour
Listen,
loop.
I don't even listen to my love Diego Armando's theme. Like the only time I listen to it is when you play it on this to start the streams.
I mean, that's your fault.
You
can always listen
fault.
to it. If neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago you appear to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for. Yeah, that's right. Why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. After he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought the key is what took Faraday's life? Detective Bad. So we may find the truth. Please testify to me once more. Alright. It doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. War never changes.
Oh no, it don't. No, it don't. That's very gravel. I appreciate it. I don't know if you know this about me, because you know we haven't been friends for very long, apparently. But I love Metal Gear-based comedy, and I know that War Never Changes is not exclusively a Metal Gear reference, but to me it is, and it's very funny.
The sound of my ass cheeks keep...
Yeah, literally, it's like for somebody who's never played a Metal Gear game, it's strike just right, you know? Like Lolly Lule Low, Nano Machines, memes, oh, it's so good. So good.
Good to know. I'll make sure to play
move.
Something at your wedding or something. I don't know.
You gotta do a Metal Gear reference at my wedding.
My entire speech for you. Stand up. War never changes. Sit down. You'll be the only one that appreciates it.
And then just the Snake Eater like ladder music just playing softly as I'm walking down the aisle.
I don't know how your partner will feel about that. But...
Oh, you know, they'll be okay with it. They have no choice.
Detective
Oh, what a thrill!
I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1. My answer is still the same, and this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up and find the truth behind this case. That bad movements.
Dead bad.
I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. What? No, you weren't. I wasn't even in there.
I was talking. Sorry.
I miss you.
Rush hour.
Why'd you miss me? You hadn't even met me yet. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. And I heard it, you and I immediately dashed out to the hallway together.
No, we didn't!
I saw Gumshoe goofing around there. Then we all ran into lobby number 2.
It sounds like the exact same story he told us before.
Indeed, however, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can.
Hold it!
Why did Miss Yu choose lobby number 4? Answer me! Who knows? She just said she had something. She just said she had something she wanted to talk to me about. We walked into lobby number 1 together. That's all. So his answer remains the same as before, I see.
Hold
was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing on this eve. Trivial stuff. There's nothing important. That's for me to decide. Right, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on then. Till you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? Did you hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot? The gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder. That would give the other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. Ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure. Did you hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot? Detective Bad, you honestly don't remember hearing anything else. Yeah. Is it possible you were so enveloped in the conversation that you missed something? I've been a detective for a long time, even if I were involved in something. I've got quite the habit of keeping tabs on everything that goes on around me. If there had been some other strange sound, I'd be sure I would have heard it. I suppose for this detective, it's probably very likely. The gunshot. Why did the two of you dash out into the hallway straight away? Because we clearly heard the sound of a gunshot. We knew it came from somewhere nearby. How did you know that it was a gunshot? My line of work, you hear enough of them to know. What?
No, I mean, it's a genuine question, but it's just, how did you know it was a gunshot? Like looking at his coat with, riddled with bullets, you'd think he wouldn't know what a gunshot sounds like?
Maybe those came from, like, little cannons.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, it's actually cannon blasts that made the holes in this jacket.
I suppose it's only natural for a detective to know what a real gunshot sounds like. But given the circumstances, the only person I could think of whose life would have been in danger was Faraday. That's why I ran out into the hallway right away and headed for where he was. Gotcha. Detective Gumshoe was there in the hallway. Yeah. Why didn't you attest to that earlier? When I saw Gumshoe, it was after I heard the gunshot. Seeing him then didn't change the fact that he still could have done the deed. Ugh. Sounds exactly like what Detective Bad told us before, however.
Is there something in particular we should be asking the detective about?
There just might be. No one knew that the knife was actually the Adagross's key. But beyond that, perhaps there are other things that we know now, but Detective Bad doesn't yet. Yes, that should be my angle of attack. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 So, go back. Go back. That one was the one that was added, right?
Yeah, that was one added.
Yeah. So we need to show that there could have been another strange sound. Go to the left.
Yeah, Adagross's
Go to the
key.
left. Is the balloon popping not a thing?
I mean, he
Like,
said
he
he
didn't
didn't hear any other strange sounds. It's just
Yeah,
kind of
like,
embarrassing, though, for him to be like, oh, that wasn't a gunshot after you were so certain it was a gunshot, because you're like, you think I wouldn't know what a gunshot sounds. It was my job.
Have you heard balloons popping?
It's a balloon.
Unironically, balloon
been to a party in
popping
my life.
can trigger PTSD in people who have gun violence related PTSD.
I mean, it's a loud bang sound. Kind of bang. Like, Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding.
Oh, so you knew about the girl's balloon?
Yeah, I was sitting with her in the gallery during the recess, just before we split up. I filled that balloon up for her. Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway, right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh, the sound the judge heard. It's not actually a gunshot, huh?
On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene.
Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. If you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So... Don't give me a so!
So?
We just proved that there's a flaw in your testimony!
I mean, Bad is a great character, I'll be honest. Crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivety cracking. Dark Data said, how loud was this balloon, popping balloon for people to think it was a gunshot? I mean, a balloon popping is pretty loud. Like, it's not as loud as a gunshot, but if you're close to it, it could sound like a gunshot further away. Since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Do you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? It's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked.
What's that supposed to mean?
The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material. Did you mean? Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound.
No!
At least that's what he was going to say.
Then that means that Scruffy Face testimony is completely useless! If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any sign of a struggle.
It's also why it's only natural. I didn't hear the balloon popping. How do you get it, kids?
Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic. Not the other way around.
The other way around? I think I just realized I'm gay.
Whoa!
It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1.
It's
What?
not possible that I could be gay. I've been attracted to women before. It's called being queer.
I feel like Nick is queer, but like Edgeworth is gay. Edgeworth is just straight up gay.
I think Edgeworth is full-on home of sexuals.
I think so. I don't know. Like, look at those hands. Like,
The big yaoi hands and his big yaoi cravat.
however, we examine the situation in reverse. The person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet, Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad. If that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean, how? Just did. It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? If the rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears? See what you mean. Guess I'm more out of it. There it is, murder than I talk.
Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to?
Boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have.
It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh?
The state of the crime scene. Wait, can it be? It's that ultra-strong perfume he wears. She spilled some of it. Wait, did we get the logic now from a flashback, or did we get the logic back then in the flashback?
And way too noisy.
Actually, no, I think we're getting the logic now.
The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go?
Oh, we're being forced to connect thoughts. The scent of flowers seems like maybe dissipating the smell.
Yeah, the scent of the scent, the dissipating the scent, lobby number 2 window. Right? Because if you can smell out of the window, that means that the window is open. That means that it wasn't soundproof because the window was open.
Simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows, and yet the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Therefore, the fragrance of the perfume is slimmer than the space between the bars of the window. Of course,
Yes, Edwin.
incorporeal things can move freely through these open barred windows. That
Yes,
wasn't a made-up
Edwin.
line, that was an actual line.
No, I know. Edward. That's how logic works. Things that don't have things that aren't solid can go through objects.
Edgeworth just now, at 22 or whatever years of age, realized that sense, like, bars don't stop sense and sounds from, like, going through. Dark data, impeccable logic. Okay, so now we have 3 pieces of 3 logics, so we have to connect 2 of them.
Open windows and very loud television.
Now then, what else besides the smell can go both in and God, I don't need to make up lines anymore. These are. What else besides the smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer is sound.
Could touch go through this window?
Taste. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. Okay, but defendant lobby number 1 I don't think even has windows. Like, this explains how Gumshoe heard a gunshot, but...
Listen, you just gotta let him parse it through.
Well, we only have 2 things left to combine, so I guess missing evidence and gunshot can be heard. I don't know how that connects, but...
Figure it out.
Understanding the sense of Miles Edgeworth. The missing piece of evidence is a video. Wow. That shows the moment in which Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess, and brought back here. If it disappeared after all that time, it is possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for... Yeah, okay, read it right. The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place.
Miles, what have you been thinking about?
The smells can pass through open windows.
Oh, mein Gott. That's brilliant, Miles! Wait till father hears about this. It will revolutionize law for decades to come.
No, nobody in their universe has yet considered that possibility. Francisco, what are you pointing at?
Stop wasting time thinking. Let's start looking again.
It's not a waste of time to think, but I figured out where we should look.
And where would that be?
I believe we should examine the television.
That's you.
The TV. Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like. This is the dumbest thing. Nobody's looked there. The window is wide open.
The scent of flowers is being blown from the outside. I think it softens the heavy air in here somewhat.
Windows in both lobby number 1 and number 2 are open. Oh, I didn't know lobby number 2 had windows open.
Maybe they were trying to air out the room just like in lobby number 1. Or maybe they sought to ease some of the tension through the fresh air.
With Mr. Faraday and Mr. Bell in the same room, I imagine the latter to be the case. If there was really a need to open the window just for that? Earlier, when Detective Gumshoe touched this, it made a most terrible racket.
You mean when Scuffy turned the television on?
Actually, come to think of it, I don't think Detective Gumshoe actually touched the television at all. Furthermore, it seemed more like when a video feed suddenly stops. At least it did to me.
I wonder why that is.
I can't believe they didn't think to look for a missing videotape in the VCR in the room that it went missing.
Terrible.
What is this law enforcement?
Terrible.
You can't blame Gumshoe anymore for being a bad detective, because they clearly all suck.
They're all bad detectives.
It's a video player. There seems to be a videotape inside.
It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end.
This tape, could it not be the missing surveillance tape?
I suppose, but...
Detective Bad would feel right with you if I verified the contents of this video. Sure, knock yourself out.
Alright, let's rewind this and see what we have.
Remember rewinding?
Remember being kind?
For anybody viewing that's like under the age of like 20, 25, rewinding is a thing you did with videotapes back in the day because they only went one way and then they had to like think of it like resetting. Because...
Is there no cultural like
what would you rewind anymore?
application of rewinding anymore? Like you can rewind a YouTube video, can't you?
I guess you could drag the bar all the way back.
Yeah, but like, what, do they not call it rewinding? Like,
I
genuinely,
wouldn't.
Like, I'm having, like,
I wouldn't call that rewinding. You're.
Yeah, but what would the kids call that?
But
Just, like,
I mean, I
very
guess you
back on the
rewind it.
video?
But if you're rewinding in that case, it's for a different function. Back in the day,
at the end,
rewinding was a thing you had to do to watch it again.
Yeah, and if you rented a movie, you had to go to a brick and mortar place to get them. And if you didn't rewind before returning them, you had to charge. They charged you extra.
Oh no, where I went to did that. They just like asked you to rewind.
Blockbuster?
The Blockbuster near me definitely didn't charge us if we didn't.
they didn't charge you a rewind fee? Did you actively not rewind sometimes, or were you always good about it?
I'm sure sometimes we didn't. We also had a rewind machine because that was the thing. There were little devices you could put the tape in just to rewind it.
I feel both very old and weirdly like not old enough. Like I'm like this can't be like
They kind of open like top down the rewind machines.
They
it
did.
popped up.
And then you put the tape in and it rewinded it, because you could rewind on the VHS player.
You can,
but it's faster on the rewind machine.
Yeah, it takes longer on the VHS, and you have to just sit there with it going all through everything backwards on the TV. Plus, if you got the video and it wasn't rewound, if you're going to rewind it while it's on the TV, you're going to see a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you're going to spoil yourself.
So, like, the rewind machine doesn't have any video, so... Dark Data said I was going to say a cassette tape, but that's not any more modern than a videotape. Yeah, that's less modern. Though they kind of might have stick around a little longer because of cars, but like, there's no cars with cassette players anymore. If I remember correctly, the footage of Rel killing the embassy staff member should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood. This should be about right. Now then, let's see.
This is...
Also, that sound did sound kind of like what a video sounded like rewinding. So.
It did. I mean, the people who made this game were alive during VHS times, so I would hope they know what a VHS rewinding sounds like.
I mean, the DS sound system probably can't perfectly do it, but that sounded pretty good.
This is the footage of Mr. Rel shooting the embassy staff member.
I'm trying to think if, this game, I feel like this game came out after VHS tapes were not in use really anymore, though. But maybe they still be phased out. Knew it. The missing piece of evidence surveillance video was here all along. Then again, I think physical like tapes probably were used security longer than they were used for watching movies. Dark Data said the tape rewinding through that entire conversation is also authentic to the time it would use the tape to rewind. Yeah,
it really was.
I mean, yeah. in a VHS player, yeah. The rewind machines were way faster. They'd only take like, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds. But like if you're doing it on a VHS, yeah, it would take several minutes. Sound is the meaning of this. It appears that Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot we heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder.
Do you mean you figured it all out then?
Yes, all I have to do now is show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was. And through where they heard it from. You just showed that, but okay.
Fine, in that case, show me what you've deduced.
Francisco, are you telling me ace prosecutor at the age of 13, you can't put 2 and 2 together?
Now to show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. That's until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny.
Like at this point, the game's literally just handing it to you, but telling you that you need to grab it.
I feel like the game is kind of like a little condescending with this.
Right? Like it's sometimes it's been pretty on the nose about it, but this time it's like,
okay, deduce. We have the tape, right? Yeah, surveillance video VCR that it just was in.